Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Let's Crack Real Math. My name is Viraaj, and in this video we'll be having a look at how to solve quadratic equations. We'll be looking at both the factorization method and also how we can do it using the formula. So without further ado, let's get started. So what exactly is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is something like this: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A quadratic equation would have a term in front of x squared, a term with x, and a term independent of x. Anything like this is a quadratic equation. Now, for my first example, I have x squared minus 5x plus 6. Now, as you can see, my c is 6, my b is 5, and my a is 1, because we all know that if there's nothing in front of the coefficient, that's the same as 1 over there. So let's say this is 1. Now, in order to solve this, let's have two different constants. Let's say a and b. We need to have something that we add together, a plus b, and that would give me the middle number, that is minus 5. And I need something that I times together, that would give me these two terms multiplied by each other, which is 1 times 6 is 6. So I need to find two numbers, that's a and b, that when they're added together, they give me minus 5. Why minus 5? Because in this case, that's the number, that's the coefficient of just x. It could be, in another question, it could be 10, it could be 1, it could be 4. Well, this we need 6, because when you multiply the coefficient of x squared with the term independent of x, we're getting 6. Again, in other examples, this could be 10, 5, 98, 99, etc. Now, finding the two numbers can be difficult, and it does require a bit of practice. Once you have practice, it gets real easy. So to start with, let's take a look at the numbers minus 2 and minus 3. Now let's try. Minus 2 plus minus 3 gives you minus 5. So this satisfies the first part. Then minus 2 times minus 3 would give me 6, because the minus and minus would become plus. Remember, minus is the most dangerous sign in math, so this also satisfies the equation. So that means I have my two values, minus 2 and minus 3. So now, since my coefficient in front of x squared was 1, I can simply do x minus 2 into x minus 3. Please note that this that I've just written, x minus 2 into x minus 3, if you expand this, you get the same equation that we had, x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 6, x squared minus 5x plus 6. So we are getting the same equation again. But we need to work with this for now. So getting back to this, we have x minus 2 into x minus 3. Now to solve this, we can take these two values separately, these two brackets separately. Of course, in the end, it is all equated to 0. So what we can do, sorry, let me just write that again. So what we can do is we can do something like this: x minus 2 equals to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, one thing to know in quadratic equations is that most of the times you will get two answers. It's rare you get one answer, but you can, but most of the time it's two. So using your algebra knowledge, you know this is x equals to 2, and you know this is x equals to 3. Those are your final two values for x. Of course, this can be tested. We can put this back into the original equation we had. So if we put x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3 in these places, we should get 0. So let's do that real quickly. 2 squared minus 5 into 2 plus 6 would give me 0, and then 3 squared minus 5 into 3 plus 6 would also give me 0. Moving on to the next example. In this example, I have 2x squared plus x equals 21. Now, as you can see, this is not exactly quadratic equation because it's not in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. However, if you look at it carefully, all we have to do is take this 21 to this side. This becomes 2x squared plus x minus 21 equals 0. Now you have it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Now note that there's a 1 in front, although I've not written it. Anything that does not have a number in front, there's automatically a 1 over there. Now again, we use the same method. 2 times minus 21. This gives minus 42. So basically, we need two numbers. That's, let's say, a plus b. That should equal the middle number. In this case, it's 1. And a times b should equal the product of 2 and minus 21, which is minus 42. Again, it takes practice to know what numbers, but thinking of this, I can probably think of a factor of 42, let's say 6 and 7, because they're both factors, 6 and 7, and they're very close to each other, so there could be a difference of 1. So in order to get a difference of 1, we could do 7 plus minus 6. 7 minus 6 gives 1, so this does satisfy the first one. Then 7 times minus 6, this gives me minus 42, so this also satisfies the second one. So we have our two numbers, 7 and minus 6. So again, we put this into our equation. Since the coefficient is 2, we write it like this: bracket 2x plus 7 bracket 2x minus 6 equals to 0. Now, as shown in the previous example, if you expand this, you are bound to get this equation back. I'm not going to do that because we just did that, and we can move on with it. So again, we can do 2x plus 7 equals 0, or 2x minus 6 equals 0. This becomes 2x equals minus 7, x is minus 7 over 2. Your x value is minus 7 over 2, which is the same as minus 3.5. Minus 3.5. Okay, moving on. Now over here on this side, we would have 2x is equal to 6. X is 6 over 2, which is the same as x is 3. So our two values are x is equal to 3 and x is equal to minus 3.5. And as stated previously, you can put these two values into this equation or into this equation, either one of the two, and they would still give you the same value. Moving on to the next example we have. Two x squared minus 9x plus 8. Now, a lot of the times, some equations are not factorizable, and inevitably you have to use the quadratic formula. Now, what's the quadratic formula? The quadratic formula is nothing but minus b plus minus root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Just extra knowledge, the b squared minus 4ac, this is also known as the discriminant. And then now we know that the 2, our 2 is a, our minus 9 is b, and our 8 is c, and all we have to do is substitute these values into this equation. So without further ado, let's do that. We have minus into minus 9 plus minus 9 squared minus 4 into 2, and that's into 8 all over 2 into 2. Now minus and minus, that becomes plus, so be careful about the minus sign. This becomes 9 plus minus 9 squared is 81. Remember, any minus sign that's squared, the minus sign will turn into positive, so this becomes 81 minus 4 times 2, that's minus 8, and minus 8 times 8 is minus 64 over 2 times 2, which is 4. Simplify this further, you have 9 plus minus root of 81 minus 64, which is 17 over 4. Now pay attention to the plus and minus. This means there can be two possible ways of doing this. Your answer could be either 9 plus root 17 over 4, or 9 minus root 17 over 4. So putting this in your calculator, 9 plus root 17 divided by 4, you get x is 3.28. Now I've rounded this to 2 decimal places, but be careful when you do your question, because it can be asking for another limit. It could be asking for maybe 3 significant figures, or maybe even 1 decimal place. And then doing it for this one, we have x is equal to 9 minus root 17 divided by 4. That gives x is 1.22. Again, to 2 decimal places. And that is how you solve your using a quadratic equation. Moving on to the next example, we have x minus 3 squared plus x equals 28. Now, looking at this first, you might be thinking we do not have a quadratic equation, but mind you, this is squared. Look at the squared. So what we can do is we can expand this. So we know that x minus 3 all squared is the same as x minus 3 into x minus 3 plus x equals 28. Expanding this, we have x squared minus 3x plus 9, because minus 3 minus 3 gives a positive, plus x equals 28. Collecting your like terms, you have x squared minus 3x, that's minus 6x, plus x is minus 5x, and 9 minus 28, that's minus 19, equals 0. And then you do have it in the form of a quadratic equation. Now, this is not factorizable, so we will use the quadratic equation. So the quadratic equation, as we know, is minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now we know our a is 1, because there's nothing in front of x squared, that just means 1, our b is minus 5, and our c is minus 19. Sorry. So let's substitute our values. We have minus into minus 5 plus minus square root of minus 5 squared minus 4 into 1 into minus 19 all over 2 into 1. And minus minus 5, that becomes positive, so this becomes 5 plus minus root of minus 5 squared becomes 25, minus 4 times 1 is minus 4 times minus 19 becomes positive, so plus 76 all over 2 times 1, which is 2. Simplifying this further, we have 5 plus minus square root of 25 plus 76, that's 101 all over 2. Now again, we have plus and minus, so we have two different answers for this. This can be 5 plus root of 101 over 2, or it can be 5 minus root 101 over 2. So using a calculator, 5 plus root 101 divided by 2, this gives x is equal to 7.52 to 2 decimal places, or x is equal to 5 minus root 101 divided by 2. This is x is equal to minus 2.52 to 2 decimal places. So that's it, guys. That was how you solve using the quadratic equation as well. Now, a bit of a secret, let's say. If you have a scientific calculator of Casio, there is a way you can solve these questions without actually using and doing the showing your workings using the quadratic equation, or even using the factorization method. So what you do is you press mode, you go to 5, which is represented by EQN, click on that, and then you click 3, which is represented by ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And then by knowing your a, b, and c, you can substitute those values into your calculator, and the calculator will display you the final answers. But of course, during exam conditions, you should show your working. So even though you can use the calculator, you should show your working if you want to get your full marks. So thank you for watching, guys. Please do an LSS, like, share, and subscribe. Please comment in the section below for any feedback or any questions. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a nice one.